As you move into the new, there's this kind of no man's land in between. That's what the transition phase is. Who feels that they may be in the transition? Okay. So during the transition, you can get an incensed. I think that should say increased. Well, incensed to to a certain degree, with a feeling of frustration. The frustration will build hugely. You get this feeling of powerlessness, that there's nothing you can do to change things, and that nothing is moving. If you're feeling stuck at the moment, you're in the transition. Who's feeling stuck? Okay. You've done the work, but nothing feels as though it's changed. Okay. You think, oh God, I've done all this work. I still get met with pain in the backside people. What the hell's going on? The truth is that everything has changed, okay? It's the ego self which is frustrated. Simple as that. It's been previously constantly entertained, and it demands attention. And all of a sudden, it's not getting the attention. It has a stompy. Okay? The ego is necessary. It's not about you battering it out of you. It's necessary to maintain yourself in the physical. If you didn't have it, you would just merrily, wander out in the middle of the road and go, oh, damn. Got to go and get another one. Takes tomorrow. So it's necessary, okay? An unmanaged transition will mean that you deteriorate into emotional blankness. Okay, so there will be a sort of a kind of spacey blankness kind of thing going on. Yes, the seeds of the ego will sprout within that, and you start getting back into negative cycles and behaviours that you've been trying to break or crack or change. Okay. The soul realization is the stage of true self-awareness and spiritual growth. This is where you really enter that phase of immense spiritual growth. Okay. Normally, yes, something quite tricky has occurred in order for you to accept that. Okay. And this is the stage that all committed, sensitive people want to attain. This is what you're looking for. Okay? So when you think, what am I looking for? What is it that I want? That's what you want. You want the soul realization. Because within the soul realization, whatever you do in the external world doesn't matter. Because, or whatever goes on in the external world, absolute everything can hit the fan. But you go, oh, interesting. How do I deal with that? Oh, okay. And then, magically, the thing occurs that you need in order for that to change. Okay? Does that make sense? The process of that is definitely the opening of the intuitive senses beyond the basics of psychic. Okay? It's the deeper intuitive instincts. So it takes time, it takes effort, and it takes a dedication to the self and the bigger picture. Okay, which is obviously something that you're very keen to do, otherwise you wouldn't be sat here. Okay? And it's also about contributing free of the victim vibration. If you still got some connection to the victim vibration, if you are a therapist, you will have a limited client base. Okay, who's a therapist? Okay. If you haven't got a thriving situation, you've got a link to the victim. Okay, does that make sense? And you harmonize that victim vibration, your working life will open up. Because then you haven't got this fear of humiliation. You'll just go and do stuff.